Welcome to the AdExpert Podcast. Today we're doing a deep dive into something really crucial for anyone running ads online, the landing page. It's often, the biggest bottleneck. We're pulling insights from Sam Ashrafi's guide, specifically 17 proven landing page optimization tips. And our mission here really is straightforward. Help you turn that wasted ad spend into, well, hopefully record-breaking ROI. We're focusing on strategic data-backed changes.
Yeah, and that's the key point, isn't it? Landing page optimization, or CRO as we call it, it's definitely not guesswork. These aren't just like random suggestions. They're specific principles, really grounded in conversion evidence. We're going to look at how tiny details, maybe a word, a badge, even a button color can actually make a huge difference in user behavior and ultimately your bottom line.
Okay, let's jump right in then. That immediate impression, building trust and credibility right away. If the page doesn't nail that in, the first few seconds, the visitor's gone?
Exactly. And the number one failure point, typically, is tip one, the headline. You mentioned the stat earlier, and it's critical. Something like over 80% of visitors just don't read past that headline. So if your headline is vague or maybe tries to be too clever, you've probably already lost them.
Right. So the headline needs to be super clear. What it is, who it's for, and why they should care, basically. And you mentioned personalization, like matching the ad keyword or location. That seems powerful.
Oh, it's huge for trust.
Yeah.
Making sure that headline directly reflects the ad they just clicked, maybe mentioning the location or the exact keyword, it creates this instant connection. The visitor feels understood, like, okay, I'm in the right place.
Okay, so headline first, then building on that trust. The next few tips, 2 through 6, you synthesize these as trust signals or social proof, things that instantly show you're legit.
Yeah, exactly. Synthesizing them helps because, like you said, credibility isn't just one thing. It's more of a system,
Makes sense. So what are these signals specifically?
Well, tip 2 is about showing verifiable review scores. Think like 4.9 out of 5 stars from Google or Yelp right there on the page. It's transparent, and those numbers build instant credibility. Then tip 3 covers certifications or awards. Things like BBB accreditation badges or many industry-specific awards. They act as quick third-party endorsements. Visitors see them and think, okay, they're recognized.
And media mentions too, right? That's tip 4. If you've been featured somewhere people recognize, show those logos. Seeing a logo from a familiar publication or show lends a lot of authority.
Absolutely. The visitor's thought process is sort of, if they feature this company, maybe they're trustworthy.
What about influencers? That's tip 5.
Yeah, influencer endorsements, especially for maybe newer brands or niche products. Influencers can really bridge that trust gap because the audience already follows and respects them. And finally, tip 6 really pushes things further with video testimonials, moving beyond just text. Seeing and hearing a real person talk candidly, that creates a much deeper emotional connection. It's powerful psychology.
Okay, so we've built some initial trust. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me, the psychology bit. Moving past credibility to actually removing hesitation. How do we get them over that hump?
Right. This is where we focus on reducing friction and risk. We start with tips 7 and 8, which are about strategic comparison and tapping into buyer values. Tip 7 suggests adding a competitor comparison table. Think about it. Why make potential customers leave your page to research competitors? You can control the narrative right there, show exactly why you're better, and help them make that decision faster, on your terms.
That makes a lot of sense. Keep them on the page. And tip 8, local or domestic emphasis.
Yeah, highlighting things like made in USA or, being locally sourced. This taps into specific buyer values. Maybe they prioritize quality or supporting the local economy. It differentiates you, especially from potentially cheaper overseas options. It speaks to their values.
This next part, risk reversal. I find this fascinating. Taking the fear away from the buyer. Tips 9 to 11 cover this.
Exactly. It's about shifting that perceived risk from the buyer back onto the business.
All right.
Tip 9 is about having strong warranties. Whether it's 5 years, 25 years, maybe even a lifetime guarantee, putting that commitment front and center shows immense confidence in your product and just melts away hesitation. The customer feels secure long after the purchase.
And you need bold guarantees too, right? Tip 10, not just money back.
Definitely. Go beyond the standard money-back offer. Something really attention-grabbing like a 200% satisfaction guarantee. It makes a statement that the visitor literally has nothing to lose. You're kind of vaporizing buyer's remorse before it even starts.
Wow, okay. And that pairs with tip 11. extended returns, longer return windows.
Yes, offering 60, 90, even 100 days to return something, it completely removes that feeling of pressure or urgency. The buyer feels much more relaxed. And ironically, when the pressure's off, they're actually often less likely to return the item.
So we've tackled trust, comparison, risk, now design and pricing psychology. Tip 12 is psychological pricing. Why does $97 feel so different from $100? It seems weird, but it works.
It's often called the left digit effect. Yeah, our brains tend to anchor on that first digit. So $97 gets processed as being in the 90 range, which feels significantly cheaper than hitting the $100 mark. It often signals a bargain, whereas a round number, like $100, might signal premium quality. The key thing is you have to test which perception works best for your offer. Sometimes removing the cents altogether, like just $49 instead of $49.99, gives a cleaner feel too.
And testing colors. That's tip 13, color schemes.
Absolutely. Color impacts mood and drives action. Blue often conveys trust, which is why you see it in finance. Red creates urgency, great for limited time offers. Green suggests growth or positivity. But the most critical place to test color is usually the call to action button. Finding the right color there can give you a noticeable, sometimes immediate boost in clicks.
Okay, let's try to synthesize this. We've covered the content, the psychology. Now, how does this translate to the actual page structure? Tip 14, layout and information flow.
Right, this is where design equals profit, basically. A good layout needs a clear visual hierarchy. The user's eye should naturally flow from the headline through the key benefits and social proof, right down to the call to action. You need to eliminate clutter. And, crucially, remove any unnecessary navigation links that might tempt the user to click away from the landing page's main goal. Keep them focused.
And what about forms? Nobody likes filling out long, complicated forms. That's a major friction point.
Huge friction point. That brings us to tip 15. Implement multi-step forms. Instead of hitting them with one giant form, break it down. Start with something really easy, like maybe just their name or zip code. It makes the initial commitment feel much smaller, and the data backs this up. It often leads to 30% or even more completions compared to a single long form.
Hey, hang on. If multi-step forms get significantly more completions, why wouldn't everyone just use them all the time? Is there ever a case where maybe a single longer form is better?
That's a really sharp question. Multi-step is generally fantastic for lead volume, especially top-of-funnel leads where you just need contact info. However, if you have a really high-ticket item or something requiring a serious commitment, sometimes a longer single form can act as a better qualifier. The thinking is, if someone's willing to invest the time to fill out that longer form, they're likely a more serious, higher quality lead. So it's often a trade-off volume with multi-step versus potentially higher quality with a single step. But for sheer conversion numbers, multi-step usually wins.
Okay, that makes sense. And tip 16 acknowledges that forms aren't the only way people want to connect, right? Multiple response options.
Exactly. Not everyone wants to fill out a form. So offering alternatives like a direct phone number, live chat, maybe even SMS texting, it meets users where they are. It maximizes your chances of conversion by catering to different communication preferences.
That idea of meeting the user where they are flows nicely into tip 17, which also helps introduce the agency behind these tips at AdExpert. Tip 17 is use local phone numbers.
Yeah, this is a subtle but powerful one. Even if your business serves clients nationwide, displaying a local phone number can significantly boost trust and familiarity, especially if you're targeting specific areas like, say, the Los Angeles market, where AdExpert is based. The source material mentions using tools that can dynamically show a local number based on where the visitor is located geographically. That can really bump up response rates.
So this whole framework, these 17 tips, they come from AdExpert. Tell us a bit about them.
Right. AdExpert is an online marketing and web development agency based in LA with, I think, over 10 years of experience now. Their insights are really rooted in deep data analysis from their work.
And their philosophy seems key here. It's not just theory.
Absolutely not. They emphasize using actual past client data and competitor analysis to shape strategy rather than just relying on, old industry standards. They're also pretty heavy on tech. They leverage AI solutions for things like advanced analytics, campaign optimization, AI-powered customer targeting, and creating personalized marketing campaigns.
So for someone listening, what that means is these 17 tips aren't just static ideas. They're actively being tested, validated, and refined using technology.
Precisely. AdExpert uses live tracking and reporting, so they can see in real time which of these elements are actually moving the needle across different campaigns and channels. They're constantly iterating based on what the data shows.
Okay, let's bring this home then. If someone listening had to leave right now, maybe they're short on time, and could only implement 3 things from these 17 tips, what are the absolute highest impact starting points?
Good question. I'd say focus immediately on the core foundations, trust and friction. So the 3 recommended starting steps would be: 1, rewrite your headline to perfectly match the promise from the ad that brought them there. Make that connection seamless. 2, add visible review scores and trust signals, things like star ratings, certifications, maybe a key media mention. Get that credibility up front. And 3, implement a multi-step form instead of a long one to immediately reduce that initial drop-off when asking for information.
That sounds like a really solid, actionable plan. Headline, trust signals, multi-step form. So the big takeaway here seems to be that successful CRO, landing page optimization, it's this blend of psychological reassurance, building trust, reversing risk, combined with minimizing the technical hurdles, smart layout, easy forms, flexible contact options.
Exactly. It's both art and science. And maybe a final thought, connecting back to AdExpert and their use of AI. If AI is already helping them with advanced analytics, targeting, personalization, informing all these 17 tips, makes you wonder, doesn't it? How soon until AI isn't just informing these strategies, but actually doing it? Writing the headlines, designing the layouts, picking the colors, A/B testing everything simultaneously, maybe even without constant human oversight. That feels like the next frontier in maximizing conversions.
Yeah.
Something to think about.